It is 0430 hours. The bocage is wet and quiet. Rain taps on ponchos. A sentry whispers, "Flash." The reply comes fast, "Thunder." The load is heavy, about 30 kilograms, an M1 Garand rifle, a bayonet, 2 Mark II fragmentation grenades, a canteen with purification tablets, a K-ration, 2 belts for the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle to help a neighbor. The task sounds simple. Take the farm at the crossroads. Hold it until night. Hedgerows cut the fields into small rooms. An MG42 can hide there. An observer can hide there. Tripwires and mines sit well in the brush. Extra noise draws fire. Any flash gives away your position. Survival here depends on drills, spacing, and clear radio work. Dawn is close. The platoon will cross 2 fields, find a gap, keep the pace, keep the people. If we succeed, by evening we have a strong point on the crossroads. If we fail, mortars will rule the night. Either way, we must live this day from start to end. Normandy. Summer of 1944. World War II. An infantry squad inside a US Army platoon. The leader states the task in 1 minute. The radio operator checks the SCR 300 set. The artillery forward observer confirms the grid on the paper map. In the rear, a 60mm mortar team is ready for smoke and ranging shots. On a flank, Sherman tanks may arrive with hedgerow cutters, often called rhinos. Movement is strict. Spacing is 5 to 10 meters. Signals are by hand only. No lights, no talk unless needed. Engineers go first. They probe the ground with rods. They mark danger with tape or small flags. Every halt means look and hide. Every start means count your people. The day plan is clear. Probe by fire to find enemy firing nodes. Use smoke and a base of fire to cross 2 fields. Assault the farm with short bursts and grenades, then dig in. Set sectors of fire. Place tripwires. Write a short battle log. Prepare for a night raid. Risks are known. Mines and barbed wire. Approaches already registered for fire. Fast replies from 81mm and 120mm mortars. A Panzerfaust at a barn corner. A mistake by our own guns or planes during close support. To live through this day, drink by the rule. Spend ammunition with care. Use the buddy system. React fast without waiting for long commands. Communication is the base. Artillery fires by the grid. Corrections are short and exact. Smoke helps the move, but the enemy can hear radio traffic. So positions change after each call. Every contact becomes a short SALUTE report. Size, activity, location, unit, time, equipment. Supply comes in bursts. Runners bring belts and magazines. Clean barrels at once when there is a minute. Purify water with tablets. Medics sort the wounded fast. Morphine use is marked on the collar. The route to the aid post is set early. At night, passwords change. Patrols rotate by quarters. The day has begun. Иду дальше. Вот глава 1 в ТТС дружелюбном стиле. Даты и обозначения расписаны для озвучки, без пометок и заголовков. Time block 0430 to 0600 hours. Pre-dawn stand 2. Helmets on, chin straps tight, rifles in hand. The hedgerows are dark shapes. Rain taps on ponchos. Breath shows in the cool air. The password for the night is flash. The reply is thunder. Sentries know it by heart. No one speaks unless needed. Weapons check is simple and exact. The M1 Garand cycles clean. An 8-round clip seats with a click. The safety is on. The M1 carbine gets a quick wipe. 15-round magazines are topped off. The BAR, the Browning automatic rifle, gets a quick look at the bolt and the bipod. The M1919 medium machine gun is not here. That is for the weapons squad. Grenades are Mark II fragmentation. Pins face the same way. Bayonets ride low on the belt. Knives and wire cutters sit where hands can find them in the dark. Personal kit sits tight and silent. Canteens are full. Purification tablets are ready. A K-ration is in the top pouch. Socks are dry. A small roll of tape and a field dressing sit in the jacket. The first aid packet stays on the web belt. Dog tags are under the shirt. A lensatic compass and a small map case ride on the leader's chest. The squad leader spreads a hand-drawn sketch on a poncho. It is the day map. One field, then a hedgerow, then a second field, then the farm at a crossroads, 2 main buildings, 1 barn, 1 house, likely firing slit here, likely sniper perch there. A gap in the hedge is marked with an X. The leader draws sectors with a pencil, left arc, center arc, right arc. He points to each man and assigns a job. Who carries extra BAR belts? Who throws the first grenade? Who watches the left lane? Who keeps the radio clear for the forward observer? The radio operator checks the set. It is the SCR-300. He whispers a test call. The antenna is tied down so it does not grab leaves. The handset cord is wrapped once so it does not snag. Batteries are checked by feel. The forward observer for artillery, often called the FO, confirms the grid on the paper map. The grid will call steel if needed. That means smoke, high explosive, or both. The mortar team in the rear has a 60mm tube ready for smoke and quick ranging. Engineers move to the front of the file. They are the sappers. They use probes and short steps. A white tape marks a safe lane when there is time. Often there is no time. They point to wire and to small stakes. They whisper mine with a hand flat and low. The rest watch their boots. Each step is careful. Each foot goes where the front boot went. Discipline keeps people alive in the dark. Spacing is 5 to 10 meters. Signals are by hand. A closed fist means stop. A flat hand moving down means get low. A finger to the eyes means watch that sector. A drawing motion means smoke soon. A small circle in the air means regroup. No one waves. No one points high. Everything is close to the body. A single rifle shot cracks far ahead. It is faint. No one answers. The squad freezes. Heads turn slow. The leader listens. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. A crow calls. A branch snaps once. It could be a deer. It could be a scout. The leader raises 2 fingers and then points down. The front pair kneel. The rest stay prone. Triggers are not touched. Safeties stay on. Breathing gets quiet. The sky shifts from black to grey. That is the most dangerous light. Shapes appear. Depth is hard to judge. The hedgerow looks like a wall with holes. A man can fit in those holes. An MG-42 can fit in those holes too. The squad scans slowly. The BAR sets up behind a root. It watches a lane straight ahead. The riflemen take flanking arcs. The assistant grenadier counts his grenades again by feel. The leader reviews the plan in 1 minute. Move to the first hedge. Use the shallow ditch. Cross in file. The BAR covers the gap. If fire starts, smoke first. Then base of fire. Then a 2-man rush, short bounds, 3 seconds up, down before the count of 4. If contact is light, bypass. If contact is heavy, pin and call the FO. ASAP means as soon as possible. That is the pace today. A faint shout comes from the left. It is not English. It cuts off fast. The leader raises his hand. He points 2 men left. They crawl to a small break in the hedge. They wait. 2 minutes pass. A twig drops. A shadow moves once. The men do not fire. The leader slides beside them. He sees a cloth strip on a branch. It could be a range mark. It could be a trick. He signals back. Mark and avoid. The team plants a small strip of tape on the near side. No one will step there today. A short contact report is made in a whisper. It follows SALUTE, size. 1 or 2 men heard. Activity, a single shout. Location, left hedgerow, 30 meters near the old stump. Unit, unknown. Time, 0450 hours. Equipment, unknown. The radio repeats it in a low voice. The FO nods. He notes the grid. He does not call steel yet. Not for a voice in the dark. The squad takes small sips of water. No gulps. tabs did their job. No one wants a stomach cramp on the first rush. A small bite of biscuit, a small bite of chocolate. Most keep food for later. Hands rub mud off metal. Slings are checked. Shoelaces are tucked. Nothing may clack or flap when the run begins. The leader checks his watch. It is 0500 hours. He wants to move at first usable light. Not black, not bright. The men rehearse hand signals one last time. Stop, down, smoke, left, right. The BAR gunner and assistant agree on a first target line. A low branch, a gap in the hedge, a dark post near the barn roof. The grenadier touches each grenade in order. 1, 2, 3. He sets the fuse times in his head. Pull, throw, count to 2, impact, another distant shot, then silence. The leader scans the hedgerow cut. He decides. He taps shoulders one by one. He whispers, "On me." The first file rises to a crouch. The second file watches flanks and rear. The radio man takes his place in the middle. The FO stays close to the leader. The sappers slide forward 2 steps. The order comes in a low voice. Move. They do not stand tall. They flow. Boots stay soft, rifles low, eyes high. The ditch is slick. The first man plants a knee. The second man braces him with a palm. The third man passes the BAR forward. The fourth man checks the left lane. The fifth man counts the men in front. The leader touches the hedge with his glove. He feels the thorn. He breathes once. He looks at the watch again. 0510 hours. He nods. A final whisper moves down the line. Flash. The answer comes back. Thunder. The squad steps into the grey light. The pre-dawn stantu is over. The movement phase begins. Иду дальше. Глава 2 в TTS дружелюбном стиле. Время и обозначения озвучиваемые. Time block. 0600 to 0800 hours. First light becomes day. The squad is in motion. The file is long and thin. Spacing stays 5 to 10 meters. Boots are quiet. Rifles are low. Eyes are high. The first hedgerow is close. It looks like a wall of roots, earth and thorn. The sappers lead. Short steps, slow knees. They probe the ground with rods. Left, right, center. A white tape comes out for a safe lane, only if time allows. The leader points to a shallow ditch. It runs along the hedge. The BAR sets up behind a root. The assistant lays a spare magazine. The gunner picks a lane for fire. A gap the size of a door. A stump beyond it. A dark post near a barn roof. The rest of the squad stays low and watches arcs. A quiet word passes. Smoke ready. The grenadier touches 2 M18 smoke grenades. 1 white, 1 green. Pins are bent flat. Fuses are firm. He waits for the hand signal. A flat palm, then a pull. Not yet. The sapper on the left freezes. His hand goes flat and low. He whispers, "Mine." The squad locks in place. No one leans forward. No one shifts feet. The sapper shows a thin wire with his knife tip. It runs from a stake to a clod of earth. It looks harmless. It is not. The sapper traces the line with his eyes. He finds a metal cup buried shallow. He nods once. It could be an S-mine. Many call it Bouncing Betty. It jumps and sends steel balls at waist height. The sapper cuts nothing. He marks the spot with 2 small sticks and a strip of tape. The leader changes the lane by 2 steps to the right. The squad will not step there today. A soft pop of a flare sounds far off. Not ours. It hangs and dies. No shots follow. The radio operator whispers a short note. The SCR 300 is low and quiet. The forward observer marks a grid square on the paper map. He does not call steel, not for a distant flare. The leader gives the signal. The grenadier pulls the pin on white smoke. He throws high, 1, 2. The can clacks and starts to burn. A soft wall forms. The BAR snaps to ready. Move! The first pair goes. 3 steps up. low, through the tape lane. The second pair follows. The BAR covers the gap with short aim shots if needed. No one fires yet. On the far side of the hedge, the ground rises. The first pair kneels behind a root and points left and right. They show thumbs up. The second pair crosses. Then the radio. Then the forward observer. Last cross the leader and the sappers. The smoke thins. No fire comes. The squad breathes again, but only once. A chicken clucks from the farm side. A dog barks twice and stops. The leader raises a finger. Listen. Wind moves through leaves. A single clink of metal. Then nothing. He points 2 men to crawl along the hedge. They check a narrow animal path. The sappers follow at 2 steps, eyes down. The men reach a gate made of wood. It stands half open. The hinge creaks a little. The path beyond bends right. A perfect place for a trap. The leader does not like it. He signs bypass. The squad does not use the gate. It cuts a new slot in the hedge with a short saw and a trenching tool. Quiet work, slow work, safer work. A low voice from the rear. Aircraft. Everyone looks up through leaves. No friendly wing shows. The leader taps his helmet twice. Heads down. The squad moves only when the sky is clear again. No one wants to flash a steel barrel to a watcher above. The second field is wetter. Mud grips boots. The file staggers once. A man helps the BAR gunner over a slick patch. The grenadier sets a smoke can on the ground and lets it burn at his feet. It hides motion without the arc of a throw. The leader nods. Good choice. A thin shot cracks from the right, then quiet. The squad drops. The BAR sights on the gap. No second shot. The leader waits 10 seconds. He looks at the forward observer. The FO lifts his brows. Hold. The leader points 2 fingers to his own eyes. Then he points at a dark slit in the hedge. The assistant grenadier squints. He sees a small flash burn on bark. A sniper? Maybe. The leader signals, mark and avoid. The slit gets a chalk mark on our side. The squad will not gift a second target. A short report goes up on the net in a whisper. It follows SALUTE, size, 1 shooter, unknown type. Activity, 1 shot, no repeat. Location, right hedgerow, 40 meters, near a dead stump. Unit, unknown. Time, 0630 hours. Equipment, likely rifle. The forward observer notes it. He keeps guns cold. No grid fire yet. We keep moving. The sappers find old barbed wire half buried in grass. It runs across the lane. They press it down with 2 short boards. Boot step where boards lie. No one straddles. No one twists. Wire cuts fast when you are tired. A torn pant leg can bleed and slow the file. The squad reaches a small ditch with standing water. It smells of manure and rot. It also hides ankles. The first man tests depth with his bayonet. It is knee-deep. They cross one at a time. Rifles stay high, slings tight. The radio man steps slow and keeps the set dry. The forward observer holds the map case above water. The leader goes last and checks the count with his fingers. All present. Voices drift from the farm side. 2 men. German language. Calm. They are not shouting. The leader sets the squad in a short L shape along the hedge. The BAR is at the corner of the L. Rifles cover the arcs. The forward observer gets ready to call smoke if the talking turns to fire. The leader points to the assistant grenadier. He holds up 1 finger, then draws a small circle in the air. 1 grenade. Light toss, short fuse. The man nods. He pulls the pin. He breathes. He lobs it low beyond the hedge, not at the voices, but at a fence post 10 meters short. It pops. Dirt lifts. The voices stop. No fire comes back. The leader waits 5 seconds. He raises a hand. He points 2 men to slide left, use the noise as cover, and peek the next gap. They go. They come back with a quick sign, empty. The voices were farther than they sounded. The hedge full distance again. The squad does not waste ammo on echoes. The sun is up now, not high, just enough to throw long shadows. Shadows help and hurt. A man can hide in a shadow. A shadow can also make a stump look like a helmet. The leader reminds the squad with a short whisper. Confirm before you fire. A shape moves in the far lane. It is low and round. It rolls once and stops. A helmet? The BAR gunner almost shoots. He does not. He waits one count. The shape does not breathe. The assistant looks through a small glass. Tumbleweed, he says. The squad smiles once, then faces go flat again. The radio gives a soft click. The net is alive. A report from the platoon flank comes through. Contact east. Light. Pushing through. That is good. It means we are not alone at the hedge. The leader answers with one line. Crossed first field, no fire. Marked one sniper slit, proceeding to second hedge. The last meters to the second hedge are slow. Everyone is warm now. Gear digs into shoulders. The load feels heavier than at dawn. The leader calls a short halt. 30 seconds. He raises his palm. He points down. Kneel. He touches his canteen. A small sip. He checks his watch. 07:20 hours. The sappers probe the second hedge. They find no wire. They find a fresh boot scuff on the far side. Heels with nails. Not ours. The leader draws a breath. He points to the grenadier. He points to the BAR. He slices the air with his hand. Ready. The grenadier palms the smoke and the fragmentation. The BAR locks the bipod. The forward observer thumbs the map grid. The radio man wraps the handset cord once more. The leader draws 3 quick shapes on the dirt with a stick. A rectangle, a lane, a small square for a shed. He taps the rectangle twice. Farm. He taps the lane once. Approach. He taps the square. Shed. He circles the corner of the rectangle. Likely MG. The men nod. No one speaks. He gives the count with his fingers. 3, 2, 1. The smoke and goes over. White blooms. The first pair moves through the gap. The second pair follows. The BAR crawls to the corner and sights along the lane. The rest pour through in short bounds. Boots land where the front boots landed. No one steps wide. No one steps high. They make the far side. They fan out and take a knee. The leader scans the yard. He hears a chain clink. He sees a short flash of sun on glass. It could be a bottle in a window. It could be a scope. He raises his fist. Stop. The squad freezes. The second hedge is behind them now. The farm ahead. The day has moved into its next phase. 07:55 hours. The leader checks his watch. He gives a short whisper. Next bound is the last before contact. The men nod. The forward observer keeps a finger on the grid square. The radio keeps the net open. The BAR breathes slow and steady. The grenadier rests a palm on a Mark II fragmentation grenade and thinks through the count. Pull, throw, 1, 2, impact. The squad waits for one more wind shift to thicken the smoke. It comes. The leader taps shoulders. On me. The movement across the last strip of open ground begins. Time block, 0800 to 1000 hours. The squad is near the farm lane. The hedge bends left. The air smells like wet earth and cordite from far away. The leader lifts 2 fingers. The file goes still. A bird lifts from a gap. Then the gap flashes. A hard burst rips past. The sound is flat and fast. An MG-42. Everyone drops, faces into mud. The BAR slides to a root and locks the bipod. The assistant lays a spare magazine by the gunner's right hand. The leader points with 2 chops. Base of fire here. The riflemen crawl a half body left and right. Each picks an arc. Safeties click off. Breathing slows. The grenadier palms a white M18 smoke. The pin is flat. He looks for the signal. The leader makes a flat hand and pushes down. Low throw. The can arcs low and lands short of the gap. It hisses. White builds. The BAR fires a short 2-round burst. The gunner counts in his head. 1, 2, pause. The rifleman adds single shots. No one sprays. The MG answers. The muzzle flash is inside the hedge slit. The beat is too fast to walk across targets. It stays fixed. That means a tripod. The assistant calls out a range. 30 meters. The leader nods. He draws a small hook in the air. Assault pair. He taps 2 helmets. They nod. The smoke thickens. The BAR keeps the lane hot. The assistant feeds the new magazine and takes the empty. The gunner rolls his shoulder once. The grenadier pulls a Mark II fragmentation grenade. He breathes. He throws past the slit, not at it. It bounces. 1, 2, impact. Dirt spits back. The MG stutters, then stops for a heartbeat. The leader chops his hand forward. Go! The 2-man team rises and sprints. 3 steps. Down. 3 steps. Down. Each bound is under 3 seconds. The first man carries the rifle at the hip. The second man keeps a grenade ready with the pin still in. They reach the hedge. Hands punch into roots. Boots kick a low shelf. They find the slit. It is narrow. The first man jams the muzzle through and fires 2 aimed shots. The second man rolls a grenade past the angle inside. He counts. 1, 2, impact. The lane goes quiet. Not silent. Quiet. A shout in German snaps once and dies. The leader holds his fist up. Stop. The BAR stops. Smoke thins. The 2-man team stays glued to the hedge. They do not step through yet. The leader crawls up. He peeks the angle. A belt hangs loose in the gun. The shield is peppered. 1 crewman moves on the floor. He reaches for the feed. The leader puts 1 round into the shield gap. The hand stops moving. Clear the box. The assistant grenadier slides in through the slit and kicks the tripod flat. He pulls the belt free and throws it back through the hole into our field. He drags the gun by the carry handle and dumps it out too. The weapon is no longer a weapon. A sharp crack from the right hedge. A rifle. Close. A chunk of wood jumps by the leader's hand. The BAR whips to the sound and snaps a 2-round burst. The rifleman on the right adds a single shot. The crack does not repeat. The leader counts 10. Nothing. Check left. 2 men peel left along the inner face of the hedge. They move heel to toe, low, muzzles forward. A small foxhole sits behind brush. Empty. A can with blackened paper lies by the hole. A flare can. The men mark the hole mouth with a tied strip for the platoon behind us. They return. A moan rises behind our hedge. A man in the second file is hit. Upper arm. He crawls onto his back. The buddy aid drill starts at once. Tourniquet high and tight. Twist. Check the pulse below. No pulse below. Good. A field dressing over the wound. Pressure and tape. Airway is clear. He answers questions. Name, unit. Today's task. He is awake. The medic slides in. He gives morphine. He marks an M on the collar with a grease pencil. The leader points 2 men to security while the medic works. The radio man whispers for a litter team to move up when safe. The forward observer is on the map. He has a grid. He whispers to the radio. Smoke on the barn corner. 1 round to adjust. The net answers. Shot. The FO watches the corner and counts. Splash. A white flower opens on the barn corner. It is long by 15 meters. He corrects once. The next smoke lands where the lane meets the yard. That screens the next bound. Ammo check. Quiet and fast. BAR. 2 magazines down. Rifleman. 2 clips down. 1 man is light. The assistant hands him a clip from his bandolier. The grenadier has 2 fragmentation left, 1 smoke left. The leader notes it. He points to the 2-man team. Hold the slit. He shifts the base of fire 2 steps left to see the yard better. A short SALUTE goes up. Size, 1 MG crew neutralized. 2 men down on their side, status unknown. Activity, defensive fire from a hedge slit. Location, West Side Lane, 30 meters short of the farmyard. Unit, likely infantry, machine gun team. Time, 0820 hours. Equipment, MG42 on tripod. One rifle shot from right flank. Source unknown. The radio sends it. The platoon net clicks twice. Copy. The litter team arrives in a crouch. 2 men with poles and a canvas. They load the wounded man. The medic checks the tourniquet again. Tight. The team moves back along our tape lane. Slow, low. The rest hold arcs. No one watches them go. Everyone watches forward. The leader checks the farm face through smoke gaps. 2 windows, one low, one high. Glass is gone. The frames are dark. A fence runs from the corner to a small shed. The shed roof sags. A perfect place for a Panzerfaust. The leader does not like that angle. He taps the FO and draws a square with his finger on the map. He whispers, "High explosive on the shed wall. 1 round to scare, 1 round to cut." The net answers. Shot. Splash. The first round hits short and sends dirt. The second hits the wall and throws boards. No secondary fire. That is good. No rocket tube cooks off. The leader nods. He points to the grenadier. Smoke. The last M18 goes long and left to blind the upper window. A burst snaps from the house. Not a machine gun. Slow. Deep. Could be a captured MG34. The rounds slap the hedge high. Leaves fall. No one is hit. The BAR answers with 3 short pairs into the window frame. The riflemen stitch the lower sill with single shots. The firing stops. The leader picks the next assault pair. He wants fresh legs. He taps 2 men who still have full clips. He draws a short path on the dirt. Hedge, water trough, door frame. He holds up 3 fingers, 3 bounds. He slices his hand. On me. The FO stays close. The radio man stays 1 step behind. They go on the count. 1, 2, 3, up, bound, down. The smoke holds. The trough is slick. A boot slides. A hand grabs the strap and yanks the man flat. They breathe once. They rise and make the last bound to the door. The lead man kicks low and right. The door sticks. The second man throws a Mark II into the corner and turns his face away. 1, 2. Impact. They enter on the blast. Rifle muzzles sweep. Left, right, left again. A man on the floor reaches for a rifle. 2 shots. Center mass. He stops moving. Room clear. The words are calm. No shouting. The stairwell is ahead. Narrow. Dark. The leader holds at the base. He does not climb yet. He points to the window. The glass is out. He keeps his muzzle on the frame. He waits for the squad to close up. Outside, the BAR holds the lane. The riflemen adjust arcs. One watches the right hedge slit we marked earlier. Another covers the corner of the barn. The medic returns from the rear and signals thumbs up. The wounded man is moving to the aid post. The leader calls a 10-second freeze. He listens for tracks, for gears, for tank noise. Nothing near. Far off, there is a low engine note. It could be a Sherman. It could be a tractor. Not our problem yet. He makes a short, clear call on the net. Foothold inside first building, 1 room clear. Stairs held, preparing to clear second room and loft. Request mortar smoke on far yard in 2 minutes. The mortar section answers. Roger. The forward observer marks the time. He raises 2 fingers to the leader. 2 minutes to cover the yard. The squad uses those minutes. Magazines are topped. Clips slide from bandoliers into pouches. The BAR swaps to a fresh magazine. The assistant checks the bipod feet and the sling. The grenadier shakes his last fragmentation once and checks the pin. The sappers pull 2 short boards from the wall. They will use them to bridge a muddy hole by the barn. The first mortar smoke lands soft and slow beyond the yard. White spreads along the fence. The leader nods. He taps shoulders. Next room, then the loft. He looks at his watch. 09:10 hours. The first hard fight has opened the door. The farm is still ahead. The day is not even half done. Time block, 0910 to 1000 hours. The room smells like dust and cordite. The floor is rough. The first room is clear. The stairwell waits. The leader points up. He holds 2 fingers to his eyes. Then he points to the steps. Watch the angles. The point man touches the rail. He tests the first board with his boot. It holds. They climb slow. 1 tread. Pause. Next tread. The second man covers high. The third man covers low behind them. The grenadier keeps a Mark II ready. Pin flat, spoon tight. The leader stays at the foot with the forward observer and the radio. Outside, the BAR keeps the lane covered. Riflemen hold arcs. A floorboard creaks above. A shadow slides under the loft door. The point man stops. He puts the muzzle to the latch. He breathes once. He pulls the latch with the tip of the bayonet. The door opens a hand's width. A shot snaps through the gap. Plaster dust falls. No one is hit. The second man jams the door with a boot. The grenadier rolls a frag along the plank. 1, 2, impact. A man shouts in German. Silence follows. They enter low. Muzzles sweep left, then right. A small room, a crate, a straw tick, a map pinned to a beam with a knife. 1 man on the floor. A second man coughs once and raises both hands. He is young, mud on his boots, no rifle in reach. He says a word. Sanitator, medic, hands stay high. Secure him, zip strap, hands behind, quick pat down, no pistol, no grenades. The squad marks the prisoner with a strip of white cloth on the sleeve. The map comes down. The knife goes into a pocket. The map is a sketch. Arrows, times, a circle around this farm. The leader folds it. It goes to the forward observer's case. Windows on 2 sides, no glass, just frames. The men stay low. No one silhouettes. 1 rifleman sets a spare clip on the sill. Another checks the roof with a tap. No loose tiles, no tripwire. Good. The loft is clear. Downstairs again. The leader calls, status, short and calm. 1 prisoner, 1 enemy down in the loft, 1 machine gun crew neutralized in the hedge, 1 friendly wounded, evacuated. Ammo check. BAR, 1 magazine left on the gun, 2 in pouch. Riflemen, most at 6 to 8 clips. Grenades, 1 fragmentation in hand, smokes are out. The forward observer flips the map. He points to the barn. Watch that corner. The leader nods. We will clear it next. He taps 2 men. Fresh legs. He points to the water trough. Cover here. He points to a low wall. Cover there. He points to the door frame. Assault there. The radio clicks. The platoon sergeant on the net. Left squad is through the first hedge. Right squad is pinned by sporadic fire. We hold our lane. A tank section is en route. The leader replies, we hold the house, preparing to clear the barn. 1 prisoner ready for pickup. A distant thump, then a whistle. Incoming. Everyone drops. Mortar round. It lands in the far orchard. Dirt slaps the yard. Another thump. Closer. The forward observer is already on the handset. Adjust smoke on orchard edge. Shot. Splash. The next white cloud blooms between us and the orchard. The 3rd mortar round lands short in its own dust and does little. The enemy is guessing. The leader uses the new smoke. Move! The assault pair crosses to the barn wall. They flatten under the eaves. The door is a slider, half open, a perfect angle for a Panzerfaust. The point man stays off the center. The second man tosses a stone. Nothing. He tosses a frag low and right. 1, 2. Impact. They step in on the blast. Muzzles high, then low. Left is a cart, right is a stall. A ladder goes to a loft. A shape shifts in the hay. Hände hoch. Hands up. A man rises slow. No tube, no rifle, just straw. He coughs and shows empty palms. He is not a medic. He wears no armband. He gets strapped and led out. The loft is dusty and empty. No tripwire, no cached rockets, a crate of potatoes, a coil of wire, a broken shovel. The men mark the barn door with a chalk X. Clear. Outside again. The BAR shifts to a window on the second floor of the house. It watches the lane and the right hedge. A rifleman swaps places with the grenadier to give the grenadier a rest. The medic checks the men for cuts, wraps a scraped knuckle, tapes a boot heel. The leader takes 10 seconds for a SALUTE report. Size: 2 to 4 enemy in and around the farm, 1 prisoner from the loft, 1 prisoner from the barn. Activity: machine gun defense from hedge, sniper-like single shots, mortar probing from the orchard. Location: farm at the lane, grid as marked. Unit: likely infantry elements, no armor seen. Time: 0940 hours. Equipment: 1 MG 42 tripod captured and disabled. No Panzerfaust found. Light mortars guessed from range and sound. The radio sends it up. The net clicks. Copy. The tank section arrives at the lane. 2 Shermans. Their engines rumble low. Each has a hedgerow cutter on the nose. The leader walks them in with hand signals. Low, close, no shouting. The tanks nose through the far hedge like slow bulls. They hold behind the house wall to stay out of the orchard view. The forward observer raises a new plan. TOT, time on target, battery, short, sharp, then we move. The leader agrees. He wants the far orchard shaken before noon. The prisoner detail moves the 2 captives to the rear under a rifle escort. The medic follows them partway to the aid post, then returns at a trot. The squad resets arcs. The BAR covers the orchard gap. The riflemen cover the fence and the shed stumps. The leader checks watches. 0955 hours. He looks at the forward observer. The observer nods. Guns are ready. Time block: 1000 to 1200 hours. The forward observer speaks into the handset. Slow and clear. Grid, target description, oriented from the lane. Danger close, 200 meters. He asks for 3 guns, 2 rounds each, high explosive, time on target. The battery answers. Shot. He whispers, shot. He counts. The handset says, splash. He whispers, splash. The yard shakes. The first shells hit the orchard edge together. Trees jump. Dark earth lifts and falls. Shards whistle over the hedge. The second wave lands 5 seconds later. The observer lifts his head and peers through the gaps. He adjusts 1 gun 30 meters left. The next pair of bursts walks the line. The orchard goes still. Smoke on the right end. 1 white smoke pops on the far right of the orchard. It drifts toward the lane. The wind is light. The observer watches the flag on a broken post and nods. Good drift. The leader uses the window. He signals the Shermans. Hold. They hold. He points the squad to new positions. Cross the yard in pairs. Use the house shadow. Stay low. 2 cross, then 2 more. The BAR moves last with the assistant. They set up at the corner that faces the orchard. The muzzle stays back from the edge to hide the flash. On the net, the platoon leader calls, "Friendly aircraft in the area, P-47 Thunderbolts, no immediate tasking." The forward observer answers, "Copy. We have white smoke at the orchard edge, no panel out." The leader keeps the men off the open yard. He does not want to draw a pilot's eye by mistake. The observer requests a short check fire. The battery acknowledges. Silence from the guns. He listens. No counter-mortar yet. Good. He gives a quick tip to the squad. If we need more, we repeat. If we get counterfire, we move 30 meters before we talk again. The sappers slide to the orchard gate. They probe the ground on our side. No wire, no stakes. They mark the path with 2 short boards and a strip of tape. The leader taps 2 men. Peek him back. They crawl to the gate, look under the lowest board and slide back. No boots, no fresh prints. Leaves still fall from the last shells. The observer calls one more pair of a high explosive on the far corner. Shot. Splash. The blaster clean. No secondary pop. No ammo cooking off. He nods. Guns cold. He signs a small circle. Regroup. The leader gives a 1-minute brief. We push the orchard edge only. No deep chase. We hold the farm. We get eyes forward. Then we set the defense. He points sectors on the dirt with a stick. Left arc, the lane bend. Center arc, the orchard gap. Right arc, the fence line to the pasture. He assigns pairs. He keeps the BAR for the center. A runner arrives from the platoon. Resupply in 10 minutes at the first hedge. Belts, clips, water. The leader nods. He sends 2 men back along our tape lane. Bring belts for the BAR. Bring bandoliers. Bring water tabs. He hands the runner the prisoner sketch map and says, "Give this to the platoon leader." The squad creeps to the orchard edge. They do not step into the churned earth yet. They use trunks as cover. They scan. A helmet sits in a fork. It is empty. A rifle lies near a stump. The bolt is cracked. A shoe sole sticks out of a hole. No one moves toward it. There is no hurry. The observer marks the positions on his map with a pencil cross. A short single shot barks from far right. It hits a tree and throws bark. The BAR does not fire. The rifleman on the right places one aimed round into the likely slit. Nothing answers. The leader lifts a palm. "No blind spray. We hold." He calls a tiny smoke, hand thrown, to blur that angle. The grenadier pops a white M8 smoke from his pouch. It hisses and fills the right corner. On the net, a new voice, a tank commander. "This is Red 2. We see your smoke. We hold short of the orchard. Call if you want nose through." The leader smiles once. "Stand by, Red 2. We may need you for the fence line later." Resupply arrives. 2 men trot low with a canvas bag and a water can. Belts for the BAR, bandoliers, a small box of medical dressings. The medic takes one for his kit. The leader checks each man. "Drink, small sips. Eat now if you must. Keep one hand free." The forward observer and the leader take 30 seconds for a plan. We hold for 1 more minute. Then we pull back to the house and build our defense. We expect a probe. Maybe mortars. Maybe a rush. We will lay wire and set fields of fire. The minute passes. The orchard stays quiet. The squad falls back in pairs. The BAR last again. The house becomes a strong point. Sandbags appear from a corner pile. 2 boards go into window frames as a rest. A stove door becomes a small shield on a sill. The sappers string a short run of barbed wire from the barn to the fence post. The grenadier ties 2 empty cans on the wire as a rattle alarm. Simple, effective. The forward observer sets the map on a crate and draws 3 target reference points. TRP1, the lane bend, TRP2, the orchard gap, TRP3, the right fence. He writes the grids in pencil. He rehearses the calls with the radio man. Short, clear, no extra words. The leader checks his watch. 11:30 hours. He walks the line. He touches shoulders. He repeats the same 3 points. Know your sector. Call what you see. Do not waste ammo. He points to the BAR. Short pairs. Breathe. Count. A distant engine note grows and fades. The tank section moves to cover the lane bend and then idles. A single crow lands on the orchard wall and hops twice. The wind shifts the smoke away. The farm is ours for now. Noon comes soon. The next test will be to hold it. Time block. 1200 to 1400 hours. Noon. The farm is ours, but only for now. Heat grows. Gear feels heavier. The men move slower on purpose. Slow is quiet. Quiet stays alive. Food first. A K-ration, cheese spread, biscuits, a small chocolate bar. Some smoke a single cigarette. Most save it. Water is by the rule. Small sips only. Tablets did their work. No one wants a cramp or a fever tonight. Care next. Boots off for 1 minute, one man at a time. Socks dry on the belt, blisters get powder and tape, laces are tucked, nothing hangs, helmets stay on, rifles stay in reach. The BAR cools in the shade, the assistant brushes grit from the feed lips, he checks the bipod bolts by feel. Weapon service is fast. The M1 Garand gets a wipe of the bolt face, a patch through the bore. Clips are counted and topped off. The grenadier checks pins by touch, flat and firm. The knife edge gets 2 passes on a stone. The sapper folds his probe and coils tape. The house turns into a point of fire. 2 boards on the windowsill make a rest. A stove door becomes a small shield. Sandbags rise too high, not pretty, enough to stop splinters. The barn corner gets a short run of barbed wire to the fence post. The sappers tie 2 empty cans to rattle on the wire. Simple alarm, works at night, paperwork that saves lives, range cards. Each man sketches his sector. A fence post, a stump, a lane bend, a shed wall. He writes the ranges, 60 meters, 100 meters, 120 meters. He marks likely routes of approach. He draws a tiny dead space where fire cannot reach. The leader collects the cards, checks them, and hands them back. The forward observer draws target reference points. TRP1, the lane bend, TRP2, the orchard gap, TRP3, the right fence. He writes the grids in pencil. He rehearses the call with the radio man. Short words, no extra breath. If mortars arrive, we move 30 meters before we talk again. That rule stands. Prisoners move to the rear with an escort. Hands tied, a white strip on the sleeve. The map from the loft rides in the observer's case. It will go to the platoon leader. The captured MG-42 is disabled. The belt is out. The bolt is locked back. It is staged for intel. We do not feed it. We do not fire it. Resupply reaches the first hedge. 2 men go and return low with a canvas sack. BAR belts, bandoliers, a water can. The medic takes a small box of dressings. He checks each man for small cuts. Tape here, wrap there, quick, quiet care. Signals for the afternoon are set. Flare pistol ready if needed. White means mark, green means shift, red means emergency. Voice rules stay the same. Say only what helps. Say it once. The platoon net clicks. Right squad is free. Left squad holds the lane bend. Good. That means our flanks are not open. The tank section idles behind the wall. Red 2 checks in. He can nose through a hedge with the cutter if asked. We will use that to shape the field of fire. The leader walks the line. He touches shoulders. He repeats 3 points. Know your sector. Call what you see. Do not waste ammo. He checks his watch. 12:45 hours. He gives 2 minutes to breathe. Then work resumes. The sappers and 1 Sherman make a small cut in the side hedge. Not a lane, a notch. It makes a new angle for the BAR. The tank's engine stays low. The cutter pushes roots and earth like a slow plow. No one stands in front of the nose. The crew chief watches our hands. A flat palm means stop. A slow circle means creep. When the notch is done, the tank backs into cover again. A single distant pop from the orchard. Not a shot. A branch broken by wind. The observer listens. He does not call steel. He draws a small ear on his map and writes, listen. Sometimes that is the best plan. A runner brings the night password. It will change at dusk. The challenge will be apple. The reply will be cider. The men repeat it once. Then they stop saying it. It will live on a small card in a pocket until sunset. The sun tilts. Shadows shift. Heat eases a little. The leader checks watches along the line. 13:30 hours. He gives a short whisper. Next 2 hours. Build, watch, drink small, speak less. The squad nods. The calm before the next push feels loud. Time block, 1400 to 1600 hours. Afternoon work and a small fight. The farm must become a crossroads strongpoint, not just a house. The leader and the forward observer pick 2 observation posts. OP1, near the pigpen wall. OP2, behind a low stump at the right fence. 2 men at each OP. 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off. Binocular steady. Reports in short words. If you see movement, say what moved, where it moved, and how fast. Red 2, the tank with the cutter, noses up and trims 1 more notch. It opens a lane to the right fence. The cutter teeth bite roots. Dirt falls. The commander keeps the turret low and the hatch cracked. He watches our hands and our smoke. When the notch is done, the tank tucks back under the wall. No show, no bait. An OP calls in a soft voice. 2 heads, right fence, slow, 50 meters, likely scouts. The leader answers, hold, no fire. He points the grenadier to ready a smoke. He points the BAR to cover the gap with the new notch angle. The scouts pause, then vanish. No shot. Good. They learned something. So did we. The observer asks for 1 smoke shell on TRP3, the right fence. 1 round. Mark only. Shot. Splash. A white cloud covers the fence end for 20 seconds. It drifts and thins. If a team waited there with a Panzerfaust, they will have moved or coughed. No one shows. A single rifle cracks from the far lane. It hits the stove shield on our window and rings. No one is hurt. The rifleman at that window counts 1 breath and puts a single round into the likely slit. No blind spray. He shifts 2 inches and waits. No repeat shot. He whispers, still. The leader nods. He does not chase shadows. The OP at the pig pen calls again. Short burst, far hedge, low. The sound is not an MG42, it is deeper. Could be an MG34, could be ours echoed, hard to tell. The leader holds fire. He signals the observer. White smoke, TRP1. A single white pop blocks the lane bend. The burst does not repeat. 2 men crawl the inside of the right fence. They find a launch tube cap near a woodpile. Panzerfaust trash. Old or new, hard to tell. They bring the cap back with a stick. The observer notes it on the map. The leader adds it to the next SALUTE. Size. Debris, 1 cap. Activity. Likely anti-tank position in recent use. Location. Right fence near woodpile. Unit. Unknown. Time. 14:30 hours. Equipment. Panzerfaust residue. The medic checks canteens. He orders a small sip. He asks each man, headache? Dizzy? Cramps? Heat can kill more quiet than a bullet. 2 men take salt tablets. 1 swaps socks again. The medic tapes a hot spot on a heel. Small things now prevent big problems later. The leader rotates the OP men. Fresh eyes, fresh hands. He sends the tired pair to eat a bite and sit in shade for 5 minutes. He watches the sky for a long, slow minute. No aircraft. Good. He does not want friendly planes guessing at our smoke. A new sound, a cough of a mortar far off, then a whistle. Incoming! 1 round hits in the orchard and throws leaves. The observer is already on the handset. Check fire on our last grid. Enemy likely bracketing. We will shift 30 meters and call again if needed. The squad shifts positions by the book. Each man slides to his alternate spot. No one runs, no one stands. The second round drops where the first one had landed. The enemy is slow on correction. Good for us. The observer sets a quick trap. Battery, 1 smoke at TRP2. Wait. On my mark, 1 high explosive 30 meters beyond. Then guns cold. Shot. Splash. White blooms. Then a sharp crack and dirt beyond the smoke. If someone edged up, they just felt it. No counter battery follows. The guns go silent by plan. Red 2 checks in again. We can nose through right fence if you want to scare them. The leader shakes his head and speaks low. Negative for now. Hold hidden. We expect a probe near 1600. The platoon net clicks. Right squad sees movement near the bend. No fire yet. Left squad holds all quiet. The leader answers, "We are set. Strong point ready. Wire up. TRPs marked. Expect probe." The last 40 minutes pass with small tasks. A board becomes a step in a muddy hole. A sling knot is retied. A window rest is wedged tighter with a chip of wood. Range cards get one more pencil line as the sun shifts shadows. The men breathe slow. The farm looks calm. Calm is a mask. The leader checks his watch. 15:58 hours. He whispers down the line, "Stand to again. Helmets tight. Safety's on until called. Watch your sectors. Call early. Call clear." The BAR gunner lays the bipod feet flat and sets his cheek weld. The assistant lays 2 spare magazines by the right hand. The grenadier palms his last fragmentation and checks the pin. The sappers hold a smoke each in case we must move. A faint shout from the orchard. Not English. Then 3 quick whistles. A signal. The leader raises his fist. Stop. The forward observer holds the handset close. The radio man breathes once and clears his throat. The next phase begins. Time block. 1600 to 1800 hours. A probe turns into a fight. 3 short whistles from the orchard. Then feet in leaves. Low voices. Not English. The leader raises his fist. Stop. The forward observer grips the handset. The radio is live on the net. The BAR settles on the window rest. The bipod feet are flat. The assistant lays 2 magazines by the gunner's right hand. Shapes appear at the right fence. 3, maybe 4. They crouch. They point. One has a long tube. The leader whispers, "Panzerfaust." He taps the forward observer. TRP-3, high explosive, 2 guns, 2 rounds, on my mark. The observer speaks slow and clear. The battery answers, "Shot." He whispers, "Shot." He counts. Splash. The yard jumps. Boards fly at the right fence. The men there fall back. One drops the tube. It rolls and stops. No one chases. The leader holds fire. He wants them to make the next move in the open. An MG-42 opens from the lane bend. High, fast. It rakes the house face. Sparks jump from the stove door on our sill. No one is hit. The BAR answers with short pairs into the muzzle flash. 1, 2, pause. The riflemen stitch the gap with singles. The gun goes quiet. It shifts left and tries again. The forward observer draws a pencil line. TRP-1, 1 smoke. 1 high explosive, walk at 10 meters. Shot. Splash. White blooms, then dirt. The lane mouth coughs and stops. Mortars now. Far coughs, then whistles. Incoming! The first round lands in the yard and throws clods against the barn. The squad slides to alternate spots. No one runs. The second round lands where we were. Empty ground. Good. The leader taps the forward observer. Check fire for 30 seconds. We shift positions, then call smoke on the orchard edge. The observer nods. He waits, then calls 1 white on TRP-2. Shot. Splash. A soft wall grows between us and the trees. Movement at the pigpen wall. 2 helmets. They rise. They rush. The leader squeezes once on the net. FPL. Final protective line. The BAR snaps to the new notch. Short pairs at knee height. The riflemen add fast singles. The assistant throws a single fragmentation grenade beyond the wall and ducks. 1, 2, impact. The rush breaks. 2 men crawl back. 1 stays still. A German stick grenade lands short in the yard and tumbles. It pops with a flash and a wooden thud. Splinters, not ball. The men stay low. No one is cut. The medic lifts a hand. All good. The tank commander on the net. Red 2 ready. The leader points at the fence end. Nose through and stop. Coax only. Do not silhouette. The Sherman edges the cutter through the weak spot and holds. The coaxial machine gun hums a short burst into the fence base. Dust jumps. No bodies show. The tank backs under cover again. The engine goes to idle. The forward observer hears a new cough. He frowns. Heavier tube. Could be 81mm. He moves the handset close. Battery. 3 smoke, staggered orchard depth, then cold. Shot. Splash. White flowers bloom and drift. The orchard goes milky. The enemy loses his lanes. A cry from our left window. Hit. A rifleman clutches his thigh. Blood wells fast. The medic slides in. Tourniquet high and tight. Twist. No pulse below. Good. Gauze. Pressure. Tape. Pain shot. He marks an M on the collar with grease pencil. He checks for exit. Clean through. He calls, litter team forward when safe. The leader points 2 men to cover the door while the medic works. The radio clicks. The platoon net. Left squad sees 2 pulling back at the lane. Right squad reports 1 machine gun suppressed. Good. We are not alone. The forward observer calls 1 last pair of high explosive on the right fence line. Shot. Splash. Wood bursts. A helmet rolls. No more movement there. He clears the guns. Battery cold. The litter team arrives low. They load the wounded man. The medic checks the tourniquet. Still tight. The team carries him to the tape lane at the first hedge. Slow, low. The squad holds arcs and does not look back. Silence comes in pieces. First the mortars stop. Then the rifles go quiet. Leaves fall. The white smoke thins into strings. The leader waits 30 seconds. He whispers, cease fire. Check ammo. The BAR reports 3 magazines left. Riflemen report 4 to 6 clips each. The grenadier has none left. The sappers have 2 smoke each. A short SALUTE goes up. Size. A squad-size probe, broken. Activity, anti-tank attempt with 1 Panzerfaust. Machine gun at lane bend, light mortar bracketing. Location, farm strongpoint, grids as marked. Unit, likely infantry with light support. Time, 16:30 hours. Equipment, 1 Panzerfaust dropped. 1 MG-42 suppressed. Mortars estimated at 81mm. The net clicks. Copy. The leader resets sectors. He swaps 2 tired men to the rear window. He brings 2 fresh men to the fence corner. He pulls the grenadier to water and rest for 5 minutes. The BAR gets a cool cloth on the receiver. The assistant checks the gas plug by feel. All good. The tank commander checks in. Red 2 has 50 rounds of main gun high explosive. Cokes is green. We will hold behind the wall. The leader thanks him and asks for 1 more notch cut at dusk if quiet holds. Copy. The farm breathes again. Slow, shallow. The sun tilts lower. The leader looks at his watch. 17:10 hours. He gives the line a quiet thought. We pass the worst of the afternoon. Time block, 1800 to 2200 hours. Dusk to night. Holding the ground matters more than taking it. Light fades, shadows merge. The leader orders a stand to at last light. Everyone up, helmets tight, rifles ready, safety's on until called. Each man whispers his sector. Each man whispers the night password once. The challenge is apple. The reply is cider. Cards go back in pockets. The sappers finish the wire run to the fence post. They add 1 more rattle alarm. 2 empty cans and a pebble in each. They hang them low so wind will not sing them. The grenadier, now rested, ties 2 white strips on thorn points to mark safe handholds in the dark. The forward observer and the radio man move the set 2 meters left and 1 meter back. New spot, new angle. If the enemy heard the net earlier, he will aim wrong now. The observer draws 2 night targets, NT1, the lane bend, NT2, the orchard gap. He writes the grids in pencil. He plans 1 white illumination round if voices rise or boots run. He reminds the leader. If we call light, everyone looks down. No one stares at the burn. Listening posts go out. 2 LP teams of 2 men each. 1 near the pig pen wall, 1 near the right fence. They crawl. They carry no shiny metal. No canteens on the belt. Water sits in pockets. Each LP carries a whistle and a cloth to mask the sound. 1 squeeze means noise, 2 means voices, 3 means pull back now. Rotation starts. 1/4 awake and on glass, 1/4 on rest but booted, 1/4 on quick tasks, 1/4 on short sleep, 30-minute turns. No one sleeps deep, no one sleeps long. The medic watches faces for blank stares. He taps a shoulder if a man fades. He whispers, "Sip and breathe." The tank section backs to the lane bend and sets a silent guard. Engines off. Crew outside on the ground to listen. They keep a trip flare ready, but do not use it unless asked. Light draws bombs. Tonight we want ears, not fire. A fox barks twice in the orchard. Leaves lift and fall. The air smells of damp straw and oil. Far away, a single engine drones and fades. No one moves, no one talks. The left LP squeezes once. Noise. The leader lifts his palm. Stop. He nods to the forward observer. The observer whispers into the handset. 1 illumination, airburst, NT1, on my mark. He waits for the squeeze again. The LP squeezes twice. Voices. He says, shot. He counts. He whispers, splash. He whispers, light. A white sun opens over the lane bend. It hangs and hisses. The squad looks down. Shadows jump. 2 men in field grey freeze in the lane mouth. 1 has a shovel. 1 has a reel of wire. They are laying a line for a phone. The BAR does not fire. The leader points to the rifleman with the best angle. 1 shot. The reel man drops. The shovel man runs. He vanishes behind the hedge. The light dies. Darkness returns with a thump. The right LP squeezes 3 times. Pull back now. They slide on their bellies to the fence. They do not stand. They do not talk. They come over the wire and roll into their holes. A soft rush follows behind them. 5 shapes. They trot. They whisper. They are close. The leader gives a small hand signal. Wait. He lets them cross an invisible line in the yard. Then he chops his hand once. The BAR fires a short, flat burst at knee height. The riflemen add 2 shots each. 1 man shouts in German and falls. The rest scatter. 1 trips a rattle can on the wire. It sings once. Then all is quiet again. The forward observer keeps the guns cold. He does not want to tell the night sky where we live. He draws 1 more pencil cross on the map where the rush broke. He writes, probe. The medic moves to each hole and checks hands by touch. Warm, dry, not shaking. He gives 1 man a salt tab and a small drink. He tapes a hot spot on another heel. He whispers the same 2 words to each man. You're good. The platoon net clicks. All quiet on left, movement heard on right. The leader answers, 2 small probes broken, no new fire, holding. The tank commander checks in. Red 2 set, turret at lane, no engine. We hear boots from time to time, nothing close. Hours pass as small tasks. Range cards get 1 more line. A notch gets a name. Gate shadow. The men share a half biscuit. A man writes 3 lines in a small book. Time, weather, 1 sentence on the day. He tucks it deep. At 21:30 hours, the leader walks the line in a crouch. He touches shoulders. He repeats the same 3 rules. Know your lane, call early, do not waste ammo. He looks at the watch again. 2200 hours. He breathes once. He whispers, half night to go. The LP teams rotate out and in. Fresh ears go forward. The forward observer dozes for 5 minutes with his head on the map case. The radio man checks the handset cord by feel. The sappers sleep in turns on their packs. The tank crews trade places on the ground. The farm holds. The crossroads stays in our hands. The night is long, but the routine is longer. Discipline beats fear. Procedures beat noise. Morning will come. When it does, the map lines will move a small step. That is how a campaign advances. 1 farm, One ditch, one hedge at a time,